Hello my friends and welcome back to my channel. I tested the hell out of Diablo 4 to get the best HDR experience on my OLED TVs, the LG G2 and the LG CX. Unfortunately, I have to say, the HDR black level race in this game is really from hell. So let's take a quick look on the difference between SDR and HDR in terms of the black levels. And yes, there is a big difference, as you can see. And keep in mind, right now, those recordings are actually made with the standard factory settings in SDR and HDR. So nothing has changed in terms of settings whatsoever to show you actually the difference. And yeah, out of the box or with the factory settings, SDR is actually quite good. HDR, on the other hand, is very washed out. And also keep in mind that right now I'm just testing the Xbox Series X and Xbox Series S version. I have no access anymore to the PlayStation 5 version or the PC version, but in terms of HDR, all the three versions should be actually the same. At least that's what I'm hoping for. If you can see a difference between PlayStation 5, Xbox and PC, please put this in the comment section. And we still have, and yeah, to be honest, that's not a big surprise, but we still have no support from the HDR system level calibration on the Xbox Series X and S. And I'm very sure the same counts for the PlayStation 5 and PC version. But that's not a big loss because in terms of HDR settings, Diablo 4 is offering actually quite a lot and they're working as they should be. So let's take a closer look on the HDR settings in Diablo 4, and we're starting with the black point setting, and my recommendation is leave this at the lowest level. And the next setting what we have is called brightness setting, and this setting really depends on what tone mapping mode you're actually using. If you like to use HDR or dynamic tone mapping on, or maybe Dolby Vision, I have different brightness settings for you, which I'm going to share with you in a minute. And last but not least, we have the white point setting, which is the maximum peak brightness of your TV. In terms of the LG CX, that's around 800-840 nits. For the LG G2, set it to around 1000 nits. But now let's talk about the most important setting on your LG OLED TVs in regards to HDR, because the FineTune dark area settings are actually a lifesaver, especially in Diablo 4, because without this setting, you wouldn't have a great HDR experience at all. But, and this is actually very important, the FineTune dark area settings, FTDA settings, are just working if you have VRR enabled. Variable refresh rate must be enabled on the PlayStation 5, Xbox or PC. And as soon we're starting to decrease the FTDA settings on the LG OLED TV, and here as an example I have the LG G2, but the same counts of course for the LG CX or any other LG OLED TV. As soon we start to decrease this value, you can see the HDR experience or the HDR black level race is getting better and better. And what I found is a value from between, let's say, -25 up to -30 is actually matching SDR very, very close. And I know that maybe this question will come up, why I'm not trying to change the brightness setting on the TV to mitigate the HDR black level race. So first of all, I'm not a big fan of changing the brightness. And why? That's quite simple, because with the brightness setting, you're not just lowering the lower end from the gamma, you're also changing the midtones. That means the midtones will be having a lower brightness as well, and we don't want this because we just have an issue with the lower end from the gamma in terms of HDR black level race, but no issue or no problem with the midtones. That's why my recommendation is, as always, if you can, use the FineTune dark area settings and don't touch the brightness setting on your TV. And last but not least, the question is, as always, HDR, dynamic tone mapping on, or Dolby Vision, because on the Xbox Series X we can play this game in Dolby Vision, but keep in mind there is no native support of Dolby Vision. That means you shouldn't expect a big difference between HDR and Dolby Vision. But as always, there's a big difference between dynamic tone mapping on and HDR, because dynamic tone mapping on gives you a much brighter average picture. But I have to admit, I don't like dynamic tone mapping on very much in this game. Even I reduced the brightness from 250, which is the standard factory setting, to around 200. I still found it a little bit too bright, especially in the dungeons. It is just overblowing or kind of washing out the picture. With HDR on the other hand, and in this case I increased actually the brightness to around 300 because otherwise I found it a little bit too dark, especially outside the dungeons. It was not looking as we have a nice sunny day. I mean, don't get me wrong, I think there is no sunny or nice day in Diablo 4, but you get my point. HDR offers, in my opinion, the best experience with proper settings. Fine-tune dark area settings to at least -25 and brightness setting to around, let's say, 250, 300 offers a great experience in Diablo 4. And of course we have Dolby Vision, and there is slightly a difference between Dolby Vision and HDR because Dolby Vision, as we know, is not following the EOTF curve correctly in the Dolby Vision gaming mode. That's an issue if you like to have a proper, how should I say, HDR experience, because as you can see, HDR in Dolby Vision looks a little bit more washed out than HDR. So again, my recommendation is actually use HDR with my recommended settings. Okay, my friends, so that's it for this video, and I hope my recommended settings are good enough for you. But if you have a different opinion, then just put it in the comment section and I'm more than happy to try your settings as well. Anyway, I really like playing Diablo 4 because I truly believe Diablo 4 is the best Diablo so far. I mean, Diablo 1 was really good, Diablo 2 was okay, Diablo 3, I had a lot of fun with Diablo 3, but Diablo 4 right now is just the best, and combined all the good things from all Diablo parts. But that's just, of course, my opinion, so let me know what you think. Do you think Diablo 4 is the best Diablo part? And of course, let me know what you think about my HDR settings. And I will, of course, continue making videos about Diablo 4 if there is any change in terms of HDR black level rays and stuff like that. And also I will provide a HDR SDR settings video just for the S95C because spoiler alert, I actually do not recommend to play HDR or to play this game in HDR on the S95C. Thank you very much for watching me. I see you guys next time. Bye.